Hello everyone! Welcome back to another 2v2 battle. This is another one that me and Surreal played. I went Minotaur heavy with this one. Oh, it's going to be two Beastmen, by the way, versus a Beastman and a Dwarf player. So Surreal's army was the main infantry line, while I brought just a ton of Minotaurs for the most part, because I just wanted to see how cool they were by their own. So Surreal's army, we have a front line of 4 Ungor Raiders with Ungor spears and shields. We have a Gorbul, Malagor. I also took Malagar. He also brought a giant, which I think looks pretty cool. One of the cooler looking giants in the game. And then off here we have a total of 3 Gore Herds with shields and 2 Centaurs with great weapons. My army consists of 2 Minotaurs with shields, 2 Gorbuls, which are just nuts. A Minotaur with great weapon, which are anti-large and armor piercing. All Minotaurs are armor piercing, but the great weapons are also anti-large. And then we have just a normal Minotaur that just carries the dual axes. They're more offensive than the Minotaurs with shields. Surreal also brought this Razor Gore herd, which I think Razor Gores are pretty cool. And let's see, I also brought a Centaur out here in Vanguard deployment and a Chaos, or I'm sorry, Chaos Warhound with poison. So I deploy my Centaurs over here because fighting against the Beastmen, they may try and get, sneaky and deploy units in this forest over here in Vanguard, and they did. And I found them immediately. They have a Gore herd here in Vanguard deployment, 2 Ungor Raiders. The rest of their army is back here. Gore herds with shields, normal Gore. We have Kazrak the One-Eye, a Bray Shaman of the Wild, 2 more Ungor Raiders, a Gorbul, and a Minotaur with shields over here. The Dwarf player, also more Ungor Raiders and a Centaur with great weapon. The Dwarf player brought 4 organ guns, and I think like 6 or 7 Longbeards, a Runesmith, and the High King. And that is the army composition. So immediately we find this Vanguard deployed force, so we are going to be heading over this direction. I'm also bringing my Chaos Warhounds that were deployed way out there, because I want to crush these 3 units as fast as possible. Once again, Alliance coloring is on, so red are the bad people, yellow is me, and blue is Surreal. You can see our army marching closer. My Minotaurs are on their way. My Centaurs are back there somewhere. There they are. And my Warhounds are getting closer. As are the Minotaurs. With the Gorbuls and the Razor Gores. So there goes the charge from our Chaos Warhounds. Into the Ungor Raiders. Here come our Minotaurs with shields and Razor Gores. And our Centaurs at the same time. Needless to say, this pack of raiders, they probably don't last too long. There goes one of our Gorbuls. And they rout and shatter pretty quickly. Meanwhile, the rest of our army is marching towards the Beastmen. We're going to try and single them out since we've destroyed 3 of their units over here. The organ guns are going down, but they are shooting a bunch of Gore herds, which I'm totally okay with. They're going to get a lot of kills, though. Here comes a Cyclops raised by Surreal's Malagor. I'm about to raise my Cyclops as well with my Malagor. These new magic, or these new lores, I don't know, man. They seem kind of strong. Especially when you have Devolve. You're going to see a lot of this. A lot of this. It's a direct damage spell that also has a -8 to leadership. It's such a strong spell. Here comes the enemy Centaurs with great weapons into the Gore herd. They hit us, I believe, with a Devolve as well. It covers such a wide area. Such a wide area. Organ guns still firing into our infantry. We already have a Gorbul in there, and now a Giant Skin in there as well with this Gore herd. see our two Psychors just back there as well. Minotaur on Minotaur action. Here comes our other Gorbel. Back here, our Centaurs. I was trying to find a way to get towards these organ guns, as is Surreal's forces over here. But they do have a lot of protection, although there's a clear path right there. I guess I just never took it. Ungor Raiders in position, trying to give support fire. Another Devolve hitting the enemy forces. These Minotaurs just getting shot in the back. They do have high armor, though. A Gore Herd getting into these Ungor Raiders that are currently unprotected. Again, blue is Surreal, red is bad. Longbeards are sturdy folk. Very sturdy. But you can see at this point we have mostly cleaned up the Beastman player because we collapsed on them and them alone. But it did give a lot of time for these organ guns to fire on our lines. You can see the Centaurs trying to pierce through the Longbeard line. They do have armor piercing, but it's a sturdy dwarf line. But we have more forces back there. Razorgore's getting to one of these organ guns. Over here we have another Devolve being cast on these Ungor Raiders. As our Minotaurs get close. Along with the puppies. But I'm not too worried about the Ungors. I want to get into these dwarves. These two Longbeard groups are heavily outnumbered and also trying to fight a giant. Ooh. Nice throw by the Cygor. Oh no! No! Goodbye, dwarf. Hello, Gorbel. Those poor Longbeards just buried. There goes another Gorbel. More Minotaurs. There's just cows everywhere. It is a moo party up in here. Another Devolve going down in this huge clump of Dwarven warriors. Again, that provides a -8 to leadership. It does damage to everything inside. So they're just getting pelted by magic. Now, they do have magic resistance, so the damage actually isn't doing too much, but it's still doing something. Oh! Oh! Good throw from that Cygor. That Cygor is pissed. The High King is trying to hold us back. Another nice rock throw. Trying to get some poison damage in on these Longbeards. Got some Minotaurs in the back taking out another organ gunning crew. God. Another Devolve. And these dwarves are going to shatter. Now again, the Beastmen seem pretty strong. Just saying. They do have the weakness of air, but man, do they seem pretty strong. Now, I have not fought against a vampire count yet, so I don't know that matchup. I've not fought against a Bretonian using like a lot of cav, so I don't know about that matchup, but yeah, they seem pretty strong. Let's check out the kill count. For me, Malagor got 0 kills, but was able to summon a Cygor, so there you go, GG. Gorbul, actually, I kind of wish they put the summon in here so I can see how many kills they got, but they don't. Gorbul, one did pretty well. I'm not sure what the other one was doing. Maybe just tying up heroes. Ungor Raiders didn't do too much. Centaur got 80 kills. Chaos Warhounds, 132 kills. I'm really proud of that. The Minotaurs, for the most part, I think did all exceptionally well, and only one took a lot of damage. This was the one that I believe went up against the other enemy Minotaur group in the initial combat, so they took some damage from them. For Surreal, we have 3 kills on Malagor, 65 on his Gorbul. The infantry did okay, but they were being shot up a lot by the organ guns. A lot. So these Gorhers got chewed up by those. Ungor Raiders did, I think, pretty well. The Centaurs got turned away by the Longbeards. The Giant got 83 kills, which is good, and the Razorgore 84, which is really good. I like the Razorgore herd. For the enemy Beastman player, we got 8 on their Kazarak, 0 kills on their heroes. Their infantry just kind of got destroyed by all the monstrous creatures we had. The Giants, all of the Gorbuls, the Minotaurs, they didn't really have much of a chance in that kind of situation, especially when they were 2v1. Ungor Raiders, same kind of thing. Also, my god, I don't think they earned that rank in the battle. They actually paid 3 ranks for each one of these Raiders. Huh. I probably would have just got more units. But hey, you know what? Experiment. Do what you do. 75 kills on the Centaur with Great Weapon, which is really good. And the Minotaurs got 22 kills. Let's see. Organ Guns all around did really well. Well, they got a lot of kills. But a lot of those, if you were watching the battle, again, were shooting up Gore herds. Now, with this kind of setup, and looking at what we had, these Longbeards, especially backed up with Thorgrim and a Runesmith, can more than handle Spearmen, Gore herds. They will be fine. The Longbeards are going to win that engagement, I think. I'm pretty sure. So I would have been using these organ guns to snipe the Giant and all of these Minotaurs, which are heavily armored, and the organ gun is armor piercing. I would have been using these non-stop, just destroying the Minotaur groups and the Gorbuls. That's your priority right there. But they were shooting a bunch of Gore herds, which was fine. Yeah, so they got a lot of kills, but it didn't really help too much just because of the targeting. So let's go over the Minotaurs, because I haven't really gone over much of the Beastmen yet. So we have the 3 variants. Also, I've not brought in any Chaos Spawn yet. Anyway, so let's delete that here. So the normal Minotaur, here's their stats. Again, they are all armor piercing. They are also siege attackers, which doesn't really matter in this kind of battle. But they all have the blood greed. So as long as there are targets in range, they actually get faster, and their leadership shoots up by +12, which is really insane. They are already pretty fast. They already have a very high leadership. Their armor, oh wait, it's only 35. Whoops, I thought they were more heavily armored than that. My bad. 35 armor. Who had 100? Who am I thinking of? Bestigors? Maybe I'm just thinking about Bestigors, because they have 100. Oh, you know what it is? It's the Gorbul. The Gorbul has 100, so I was thinking the Minotaurs also had that same armor. Whoops. Still getting used to this faction, folks. Alright, so they actually are pretty relatively low armor. Okay. But anyway, besides that, they're still really good. 40 melee attack, 34 melee defense on the basic one, which is 1400, and a charge bonus of 36 on top of this weapon damage, which is a 76 armor piercing, 28 normal, which, oh my god, these things are just so solid. The Minotaurs with shields do have 45 armor and a 50% block chance. The other stats are relatively the same except for their attack and defense, but like their movement's going to be the same. So 32 melee attack, 46 melee defense. That is a lot of melee defense for 100 more. And then for 1600, we have the units that also have bonus versus large, and their melee attack is 32, melee defense of 30. So I believe they have the lowest attack and defense of all 3. Yeah, but that's usually the trade-off when you get a unit with great weapons. But their charge bonus, though, is 44. Which is really good. Really good. And I like that this large creature has anti-large capabilities. Also, notice that they all have no force penalties. So again, I think almost all of these monstrous creatures have no force penalties. The Razorgore herd, as long as they're considered large, you know, I don't know if a monstrous beast is considered large. I don't know if they have a penalty in the forest or not. I don't know. I have no idea. But you can see like the Cygor also doesn't have a force penalty. The Razorgore Chariot doesn't have a force penalty. So that's pretty cool too. They're just so strong. They're so strong. Minotaurs are so cool. I'll need to use the Chaos Spawn. They're basically the same as the Chaos faction, but the difference is they have a poison attack and a no force penalty. Whereas the Chaos Spawn for the Chaos do not have that poison attack. But in exchange, they do have a higher weapon strength. So these have 150, they cost the same, but they don't have the immunity in the forest. Whereas the Beastmen, you're trading a lower damage. Where are you? So you get 120 instead of 150, but in exchange, your attacks are also poison. And you have no force penalties. So really, the Beastmen have the better Chaos Spawn. The Beastmen have the better Giant because it has the no force penalty as well. And I think its damage and everything else is the same as the Chaos. Let me see here. So we'll select you. I'm pretty sure. Oh man, the Chaos Giant even has a lower melee attack and a lower charge bonus, but they cost the same. You think that's a little weird? You think that's a little weird how the Beastmen have a Giant that has 12 more melee attack, 10 more charge bonus, and no force penalty, and there's no drawbacks? It has nothing that's lower or worse than the Chaos Giant? You think that's a little weird? What about the Greenskin Giant? Because I think those are the same as well, right? Let's see. So let's hover over you. Same thing, yeah, so this is just like the Chaos Giant. That's so weird. That's so weird how the Beastmen are already super strong and they have a better Chaos Spawn and a better Giant. Anyway, that's odd to me. I don't know. That just seems just a little weird. Just a little weird. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the battle, everybody. I'll continue to go over the Beastmen units as we play more multiplayer maps. So I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time. Take care.